Welcome, it's SVPod, Stanford Steve, and Red.
Red's eyeing my coffee.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh, he'll
He doesn't drink coffee, right?
Buddy, if you put it in front of him and he thought one of us enjoyed it,
Get him a cheeseburger today, will you?
He
Five Guys, get him one.
Otis, rest in peace. The story goes, I used to go to Five Guys and just get cheeseburgers for him. My wife reminded me of that. I'm like, did I do that? And then I think, I did. This guy here, he does pretty well.
Yeah.
I do better not just feeding him directly from the table. So Red is a little bit more behaved than Otis. We learn. You become better.
Red likes farm to table.
That's so funny. We had some
preference.
We had some friends over and I was grilling, and we were grilling a bulk of steak, and there was not enough room on the grill for the steak, and I turned away, and my man ate conservatively 2 pounds of raw meat. That wasn't great.
You grill in the winter?
Hell yeah! As long as there's not.
I got to make that a point.
I'd say this. It's clearly more of a spring summer deal.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, like down here, it's not like there's a foot of snow. I mean, okay, so it's chilly, whatever. Put on a coat, man.
If there was a grill on the field last night at Heinz, you weren't grilling. You were cold.
It got cold late. But not cold, just cold because I haven't been somewhere where it is cold in a while.
You were looking at me like with the tilt on the head,
with the
and the like
shiver,
the teeth.
Not great. What a fun atmosphere as advertised. Still feel like it's the big ketchup bottle.
Yeah,
but it's right there. Got the Allegheny, Monongahela, Ohio River, the whole bit, and the stadium sits right there. Swag had the greatest line. Marcus Spears said on the show, he said, when we played in Buffalo and Lambeau and in Pittsburgh, it just feels like a Friday night high school game, but bigger, obviously a bigger venue. But the sense of community, what the team means to the place.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you're obligated by law in Pittsburgh to wear a jersey.
Oh, it's crazy.
And it doesn't matter which one. Could be Franco Harris, Terry Bradshaw era. Could be the Bumblebee era. Could be present era. Could be Ryan Clark. Cool to see RC get back to a place he hadn't been back. And the appreciation they have for your people. People just screaming out, Ryan, we love you, we love you, we love you. And they do, man.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun to see that. It was as advertised. And the game itself, road Giants better than home Giants.
Yep.
They competed. Pittsburgh gets a win. And I asked this question sincerely. At 6-2, leading the NFC North, what do you think Pittsburgh is?
Playoff team.
I agree. But context is always important.
Yep.
And so the last 3 teams that Pittsburgh beat are all currently in Pooptown.
Oh.
Vegas, the Jets.
We're going to Pooptown early this week.
No, I'm not doing Poop. I'm just telling you, they're all in it.
It's a fact.
So I'm asking myself, who's their best win? Okay, they beat Kirk Cousins week 1 when Cousins was pretty rusty and gimping around, but part of what he looked like is because of who he's playing in Pittsburgh. They beat Bo Nix. That was Bo Nix week 2. He looked a lot better this week. We'll give him some love in a moment.
Got to throw it down.
Yeah, you're allowed to throw it
down the field.
He had his highest.
Troutman, tight end. See the one-handed catch in the end zone?
Highest completion percentage for Bo Nix this week. But what I'm getting at is they beat the Chargers when Herbert got hurt. Those are their wins. So I agree. I think that clearly you can trust the defense. They're different with Russell Wilson just in the sense that they're going to take some deep shots. And the passing game is going to look different with Russell Wilson. But the remaining games after they come off the bye, first they come to Washington. They haven't played a single division game, so they got 2 still with Cincinnati, 2 with Baltimore, a game with Philly, a game with Kansas City. That's 2, 4, 5. That's 7 games against teams that I think, even though Cincinnati, I'm going to die on this hill, don't know what they are. I feel like at least any of those wins I would be more impressive than the people they beat thus far. I don't know. I can't look at the 6 wins Pittsburgh has and be wowed by them, but that's kind of the NFL right now.
Yeah, we're almost halfway.
Yeah.
Teams have played 8. They're going to play 16.
17.
I'm done. Oh, yeah, that's right, 17. I'm done looking at who you beat. Like, I'm looking at records and standings now because now we're in it.
Totally fair. I'm just saying when I'm trying to – I watched them. And so after I watched them, I'm thinking about it last night and thinking about it this morning. I'm not saying they're not good. They're good. They're 6-2. 6-2, 6-2. No one's complaining if it's 6-2. It's just I watch the Lions play and I feel different about them.
No doubt.
That's all. And so after the bye, they come here to Washington. By the way, Washington fans, you guys are excited. We're obviously going to get to you. Years ago on a Monday night, Pittsburgh fans came in and took over that stadium. And I'm talking about not like the fake Ohio State 60-40 at Austin.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
It was like 90-10 Pittsburgh.
Oof. How long ago?
It was a Monday night.
Big Ben?
Yes.
I mean, that was only, 16 years of Big Ben?
Right, but I'm terrible at this because if you told me it was 2005, I'd say, yep. And if it was, you said it was 2012, I don't remember the year, but it wasn't terribly long ago. All I'm saying, Commanders fans, you're all excited? Pittsburgh fans will be here. So
probably already are because they're on a bye.
There's a caravan coming from Western PA. Don't let them take over your stadium because they will if you let them. And the Giants, I don't know what there is to say about them.
I'll say this: there was effort
for sure.
Our guy Cap's a big Giants fan, right? And he's just talks about how the fan base is fed up. We talked ad nauseum. They've scored 1 touchdown with Daniel Jones this year at home.
At home, yeah.
What I saw, Notre Dame
scored more touchdowns in their game against Navy on Saturday than the Jets and the Giants have scored at home this year combined.
2 NFL teams combined.
And all the home games.
1 game against a ranked
Notre
team.
Dame 60 minutes.
Anyway, go back. There was Tracy's a guy I worry about him now. I mean, he had his head twice. We're standing right there when he walks off before the first half and the second half. But as far as Daniel Jones goes, there were shots taken down the field. The drive before the half, that's a time where I would see some teams would even just hand the ball off, get out of there. They go down, they're that close. Time doesn't become an issue. Can't execute, they get a field goal. But the idea of hearing Dable talk about how much he loves Neighbors and during the week, he was asked do you think Porter's going to follow Neighbors around the field? He's like, first off, that's not what Pittsburgh does. Pittsburgh lines up and does what they do. You got to beat them and execute. And second of all, I don't care who's on him. We're getting him the football.
He had a couple drops that hurt
huge.
Last night. And I mean, look, we're all in the same boat here. The guy's phenomenal. Ryan Clark explained his stories from Lafayette, been through it. Like, he's a different cat. He's wired to compete. You love him. But you can love a guy and go, oh, God, you needed that third down catch because there were chances there where they could have gotten touchdowns, not field goals.
The game's in flux.
Exactly. Exactly.
But the plan was there. I love their plan.
I agree.
And I always do with Dable. That's why I love the guy. And you could tell in the first half, what was there? Over 400 yards of offense. Correct. It was 9-9.
Correct. Well, there were a number of touchdowns scored. There was some BS penalty on the Giants for motion or something. Pickens had 2 feet in, but it was the same foot, so that didn't count. So, yes, it was 400 yards of offense, no touchdowns in the first half.
And so, you're frustrated, and then you could see Dable losing his mind during those penalties because he knows the game's in flux. He knows this game's for the taking. His team's ready. They bowed up in the red zone against Russ and the Steelers. So the game was there, and big play. The big play.
Calvin Austin the third.
Austin, and then the deep shot. It becomes a 2-score. Also, Giants come right back. Giants on the road are way higher, in my opinion, than the Jets. But that's not saying much.
To the point on Tyrone Tracy, tremendous, runs so freaking hard.
Yeah.
We saw him coming up off the tunnel after he hit his head and was in concussion protocol, and we were walking out to go get ready to do the show, and like he gave a wave and said hello. I mean, he didn't look like, and again, I'm not diagnosing the man, but I'm just thankfully he wasn't like in a fog. I mean, you saw him and he gave you a look as he walked off. Salute to that dude. He's a guy. I'm a Dable fan too. John Mara said supposedly he and Shane are going to be all right. I think that would make sense to not just pull the plug. But I watched him play against Philadelphia the week before, and they were horrendous. I just don't understand how a team, and maybe some of that's just the familiarity of division opponents where they know everything you're going to do. I don't know. I don't get how they're awful. They're awful at home.
You talk about the familiarity. It's real interesting. And being there last night with Mike T and the Steelers, that's why he's so great, because you have to keep finding a way to play on edge. And when you watch the Steelers, they're constantly, whether it's a little shove after the whistle, just always in a gang tackling, ripping for the ball ad nauseum. But it's every week with them, and it's been that for his tenure. There's always an edge there, and the Giants, they lack that. Now, they're down to guys. Thibodeau's a guy you would love to have on the road as a pass rusher.
Sure.
He's still out. Dexter Lawrence is an absolute eclipse of a human. Seeing him in person for the first time, I can't get over how big, good, and awesome that guy is. Might have moved to top of my favorite players in the league rankings.
Listening to Jason Kelce on the air and off the air.
Off the air was a little more detailed.
A little more colorful language. Yeah. But it's a sincere, highest level of respect. I'm so glad I don't have to try to block that human anymore. And that's not how he speaks about everybody. There are other teams and other players who are like, yeah, it was all right. There were weak spots or whatever. Not Dexter Lawrence. Just like, thank God I don't have to deal with that dude anymore. And anyway, a fun game, fun atmosphere. Giant fans, you're right on that touchdown. We can love Danny Smith, who's got 17 pieces of bazooka in his mouth, and their special teams, they block field goals, they block punts, they return kicks. They also ran into the punter. How there's no penalty on that play, Giant fans are correct to be like, what are we doing? At minimum, it's 5 yards. And I'm not saying it was roughing, but that's offsetting, and it was a game-changing play. It went from 9 to 9. They had no touchdowns. Then they had a touchdown on a play where it appeared there was a penalty, I thought, for running into the kicker. Wasn't called. There you go. That's Monday Night Football. Washington, Hail Mary?
Yeah.
Around here, actually, not just around here, our place, everyone just went wild because it's a singular play. It's the rookie that everyone's talking about. You got a guy from...
Which one?
Daniels.
Oh, okay.
What other rookie? Oh, you mean Caleb?
Yeah.
He was not very good for a lot of that game.
Battled.
When it was there to be won, though, they drove, and he was good then.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Washington dominates that football game for the majority of it. But there's some odd calls. There's looked like an Ertz touchdown somehow wasn't a touchdown.
Wasn't that a touchdown?
It's National Tight Ends Day.
Come on, we only get one.
Best athletes on the field. Hello. But it's 12-0, and we are not great at math, but smart enough to know one play changes his entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Swift scores the touchdown, and you're like, oh, shit. They're not going to lose this game. Well, they're behind. And it would have been disgusting because statistically they were much better. So they win, and it's the Daniels throw, and he's the rookie everyone's talking about, and this franchise has been moribund. It's not a word that gets used a lot. Look it up. They were that. Now here they are. Yay, hail to the Commanders. And they got the guy, Stevenson, right? The Bears, 29. Not great. Everyone saw it, the videos from the stands. He's woofing, not paying attention. The play's going on. All of these billion different things that get talked about. And it turns into this gigantic topic. The play's fun. I think the result's way more important than the play.
Okay.
Because Washington's 6-2. Mm-hmm. And in the same way I'm looking at Pittsburgh's giving them a grade And I'm like, all right, you get an A, but this ain't exactly an AP course. That Washington beating the Chicago Bears team, coming off a bye that came in with a gaudy record of its own, with a really good defense. It's a big win for them, because the difference between 5-3 tied with Philadelphia, who's on the come up at the moment, and 6-2 still leading the division, feels significant. So, plays fun. Everyone gets celebrated. All the viral videos and whatever. The result is far more important, because they were the better team and they somehow figured out a way to win. And that's the kind of stuff that truly makes people, I think, within that building, believe.
Yeah, speaking of buildings, I was just happy the stadium didn't collapse, because it's a shithole. And when that place started shaking, I really worried that it was going to come down. I mean, we've seen the videos of toilets dripping and suites and all that.
Human waste.
Yeah, like I was literally worried, because you're like, all right, everybody stayed. They're on tilt. It happens.
Yeah.
No, but I will say this about Daniels and the quarterbacks and everybody, Nance and Romo, you get them in town. And then everybody wants points, right? So you want the rookies to shine. I think it says a ton about Jaden Daniels, because he's obviously the injury all week leading up, and he plays. He's not 100%. But to your point, the result, he fought through. It wasn't pretty. Then he makes that play, that throw, overcomes adversity, the whole thing, and you get the win. Again, to your point, losing the lead with 33 seconds, whatever it was, it's like
less than that, I think.
They're really going to freaking lose this game?
They were gonna.
And it's awesome. I will say their approach to that situation, you could tell they've practiced it. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. And that's hard, man, because you're talking about feelings being involved, your defense coming off that battled all day, and that's the group I want to talk about with them, because they've been sensational. And I don't care who they've played. You remember what the Commanders' defense was last year.
Shout out to the ball coach. Not very good.
Yeah. And Joe Witt Jr. coming over with Quinn to that defense. There wasn't a lot of big personnel moves.
Mm-hmm.
What's the new guy, Luvu?
Yep.
Like, he's been awesome. You could tell they did the piece with him with Bobby Wagner before the game, which was great. But the way they did it, and how many times, whatever that word you used, I'm guessing has been shunned over and over and over. It says a lot, because you got to be able to win those games. And as we get later in the season, like I said, it doesn't matter who you beat. You got to stack those wins. And as good as it's been, the Eagles are still, a half game behind. So that's a big one to get. And, I mean, the schedule's gettable. I mean, we just talked about the Steelers. That schedule is more so attainable, but the Commanders is gettable. And that was a monster one to get, because I still think Chicago is going to be in the mix when you look at
the
teams for playoff teams. So it was really, really cool.
Philadelphia's valuing the ball. Hurts numbers on Sunday were big.
Yeah.
16-20, no turnovers. Just he's using his legs more. That was something the guys on Countdown pointed out on Monday. Watching that game against Cincinnati, maybe I'm dead on the hill.
Never dead.
They went 17-play, 10-minute drive to start the game, score, and I'm thinking, here we go, Cincinnati. Philly can't score in the first quarter. They didn't again. Kind of wasn't their fault in this one. They only had 5 minutes when they got the ball. Then they scored double digits each of the next, second, third, and fourth. And they look better in the way that when A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith play, you look better. Kind of like the way when Puka Kupp and Puka Nacua play for the Rams, they look better.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what a coinky dink. That Eagle team's going to be there. I think it was wishful thinking from the NFC East perspective that maybe they'd be not bad, but just kind of adrift.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't feel like what they are anymore.
Well, again, like you pointed out with the Steelers a bunch last night, they still haven't played a division game.
Nope.
Like,
it's weird. It's NFL
scheduling. Baseball's the worst. I really don't pay attention to NBA. I know the same teams play every Christmas. That's what I look at first. And NFL, it's just atrocious. I can't stand the way they do. Like, You have division opponents you have to play twice. The idea you play like twice in a month is so dumb. You have 18 weeks to pan it out. Now we're halfway through the season. Steelers don't have a division game. Commanders have played 1. Giants have played 2 or 3. Eagles have played 1. Played the Giants. They haven't played the Cowboys, have they?
No.
Like
or Washington.
What the fuck are we doing?
I don't really know. I mean, look at Pittsburgh's schedule. They have like an entire month where all they do is play in the NFC North teams. I think it's dumb just because you saw it with Cleveland and Baltimore this week. Their divisional games are different. They're just different. Particularly when you're evenly matched and there's great real rivalries, just takes more out of you. And the idea that you're doing that a month straight, that doesn't make any sense, man. And there's actually probably a fascinating story to do about how do you map this out? How do you map out a 17-game schedule with all these different TV partners, all these windows that you're trying to get people in? Now it's like, oh, hey, we can get Netflix to do Christmas games. Why wouldn't we? You know, I almost imagine you fill out your big prime windows and then you go and then backfill it. But spread out the divisional games.
It's bad.
I agree with that.
Thank you.
I agree with that. But Philly's part of something with Dallas I'm going to get to in a minute. You know, let's just stay in the NFC East. We talked Washington. We've talked the Giants from last night. Philly. Dallas is 3-4, and here's their next month. At Atlanta, home Philly, home Houston, at Washington. That's all teams with above 500 records. It's not inconceivable Dallas could lose every one of those football games.
Agreed.
I don't think they will, but not inconceivable they could lose every single game. They can't or don't run it. They don't really stop the run. They give up 1 billion points at home. I just looked up and saw the video on Pat's show of Diggs mad at a reporter after a game.
Oh, yeah, he came right out.
Still in his pads and comes out, and which means the first thing that dude did after losing to San Francisco is get on his phone and see that this guy was asking what he was doing on a play.
Yep.
That's what we're doing.
That's what they do.
Well, got bigger issues than what some reporters asking about what you're doing. Because, I mean, I'm asking the same thing of your whole group. What are y'all doing?
The reporter, I give him credit. He was like, you still didn't answer the question.
Well, he was just kind of escorting Kittle down the field. It was just...
yeah.
And I've made it clear I don't love the analytic folks that tell you that what should have been done, and this, that, and the other. And it's like, do you know the play call? Do you know what was supposed to happen? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And I don't pretend to know defenses. I don't know what his Diggs' responsibility was on that play. I just know Kittle was running down the field quite a ways. He had a big day on National Tight End Day. Dak throws it away a couple of times. You're down 3 scores. CD gets loose late. You get the ball back, and then San Francisco's defense is like, oh, we can't F this up. Dak has zero completions on that. San Francisco gets the game. First down, runs out the clock. So Dallas is 3-4. At Atlanta, Philly, Houston at home, out Washington.
Good luck.
Here's the thing. They're just not a very good football team.
Correct.
That's it. But they're Dallas, so there's a ton of conversation and whatever else. But I just can't, whether it's on SportsCenter or Countdown, like we're going to do this thing on Dallas. And I said, okay, we can do that, but we're going to do San Francisco also, right? Because they're going to get healthy coming out of their bye. That division, the West, is kind of mayhem, and they're decent to better than decent, and they've shown that they get better in the.
I was going to say we've seen them do it before.
Yeah, they go to Super Bowls,
win playoff games.
Can we talk about San Francisco? I'm not asking. I'm telling.
No, get on the boat.
Well, no, I have a mic and I'm on TV, and you're not going to be able to stop me from mentioning San Francisco. So we did. That division, the West is. I don't know, man. Seattle's 4-4, but I just.
They need. Supposedly sounds good. DK is going to play this week. They need him. They need him in that offense
badly.
Yeah,
I thought Lockett might shine without him. It didn't happen. It was a rainy, weird day, but Buffalo.
It's a good win.
For sure it is. But that's a couple of times on their home field, like Seattle,
Giants.
that place, the 12s, we were there last year. When you're like, wow, this place is awesome. The Giants, San Francisco, and Buffalo just came in there and beat you 3 straight in your place. In your place.
Giants.
Arizona's got a 4-4 record. Shout to our guy Chad Ryland, Dirty Terps kicker. He's been their kicker for 4 weeks. He has 3 walk-off wins. 3. And every single kick he made, they were trailing. So if he misses any of them, they lose. He makes all 3 kicks, and they walk-off winners in Miami. They beat San Francisco, the Chargers, and Miami on walk-off kicks from Ryland after Prater got hurt. And they're 4-4.
4-4, 3 walk-off wins.
Correct.
Got to do it in this league. It's amazing.
That's the league in a
nutshell.
nutshell.
What it comes down to.
You get sick of hearing me talk about coin flip games. That's the definition of it. They made enough plays on both sides of the ball to make it so that a kick would win a game for you, and then they made them. So they're 4-4. Seattle's 4-4. San Francisco's now 4-4. They open the window for McCaffrey coming back from injury post-bye.
Too late.
For the fantasy world, yeah. Apple pickers, though. I understand. Very inside. Shout out to our friends, the 12 people that listen to this podcast. They're like, yeah, the Apple pickers.
Don't cry when you think you lose and you won.
Also, that's it. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Math, how does it work? And San Francisco has been tremendous late in seasons. They get better. I believe in them 1,000,000,000%. And the Rams are the team that everyone off of Nakua and Kupp coming back are like, watch out for the Rams. You're shaking your head, yes or no?
It's McVay, man. Like that's the one you don't want.
We're just, we got some guys healthy. We're gonna battle, man. I tell you what. I don't know, man.
I picked him to win the division. That's obviously going to be a tall task now before the season. But O'Connell goes to that game Thursday night. He's just like, oh, of course, they're healthy, and it's just
and Kupp we knew, but
stretch you every possible way defensively, and you saw that Miami defense or Minnesota defense be so good that we've talked about them a ton.
Yeah,
they were on skates, man.
Well,
they didn't know which way it was coming, and that's all credit to McVay and Stafford. It's their pain in the ass.
I'm in the tank for the gray beard. I have so much appreciation for Stafford. They had, they're like MacGyver trying to make a bomb out of a shoelace and a piece of gum and a can of soup. Like, all right, what do we got? Like O-line, everyone's out. All our receivers are out. All right, well, and they hung in as best they could.
Yeah.
But more than anything, they just didn't have a Kansas City or a Detroit in their division that ran away and hid. And so now they're in the mix. That NFC West is mayhem. I think Seattle is going the wrong direction. If you can't win home games, you got big problems. I absolutely buy San Francisco. Arizona feels a little bit smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
All credit to them for winning,
no doubt,
winning these games. But I like the Rams and the Niners in that division moving forward.
I'm not giving up on Seattle. I think they're still when healthy.
Well, that's the biggest issues, and all those teams have had their injury issues.
Say it every week. Stay in the fight.
That's the National Football League in general. Hand up. Gotta wear it. Gotta own it. Gotta eat it. Whatever you want to say. Somebody on this show repeatedly would tell you that Baltimore was the best team in the NFL. I know they've lost a couple of games, including to Kansas City, but I really believe Baltimore is the best team. Well, if half the wins that the Browns and the Raiders have are against you, you can't be the best team. Baltimore losing to Cleveland, and Kyle Hamilton had about 3 different legitimate chances to squeeze the interception that would have ended that game, but he didn't.
Why he plays defense.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Guys I know. I'm totally kidding.
I know you are.
He was my favorite player in that draft.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's great.
Notre Dame. Go get him. All Pro, Pro Bowl, whatever the good thing is. And then it's the full Jameis experience because he hits Tillman on an absolute dot. And they lose. Now, What'd we say about divisional games? They're harder.
Yeah.
The Browns moving on from Deshaun Watson, your boy ranting and raving earlier, just exasperated about how are they doing this? Why is Deshaun Watson on the field? I'll be darned. They put Jameis in, and all of a sudden they get another 300-yard game. You know why? Shout to that white boy up in Detroit.
There's a white boy from Detroit that I really admire named Eminem. He said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity lasts once in a lifetime. And I know I got a quote, Eminem, he from Detroit, he right up the road, but man, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that the Lord provided me with this opportunity. I'm grateful for my teammates, my coaches, and these amazing fans.
How can you not love Jameis? He's one of one. Hat tip to Eminem after the game. He played well, but that's the full Jameis. I told one of my buddies, said, what do you think Jameis will do? I said, he's like shooting guard that will keep both teams in the game. That's always been him. He's going to make enough threes that you've got a chance, and he's going to miss enough that the other team can get back in it. That's him in bulk. But Baltimore, if you're going to be the best team, that I'm insisting you are, you can't lose that game. And they did. So here we are.
They don't have Humphrey. They don't have Wiggins. That's going to happen in that league.
Their secondary was decimated, yes. But again, we can't make rules for other teams and go, hey, man, that's the league. Hey, Baltimore, that's the league. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I also saw, I think our guys at Circus said the Ravens were their biggest need of the day, which I found fascinating that everybody loaded up on the Browns. But
the Jameis
I'm almost
factor.
positive it was after week 1 on this pod sitting right here. I said, give the people what they want and give me Jameis.
I'm eating a dub, Steve.
I see you. But I said, give the people what they want and give us Jameis. That was after week 1.
You were right.
19 games Deshaun Watson started for the Cleveland Browns.
How many 300-yard passing games, Steve?
0.
Jameis Winston, how many starts?
1.
How many 300-yard games?
1.
Figure it out.
And I love Stefanski. I think he's won Coach of the Year twice.
We all do. We know he's stuck. He's stuck because he's got to say that Deshaun gives us the best chance because the owner's pot committed.
You can't say that anymore.
Nope, because we saw the truth.
Go Browns. No logo.
Look, I love Cleveland fans. I want them desperately someday to have that moment because I would love to see that city. If either the Guardians / who got the vibe, it's the tribe, y'all, or the Browns get a victory in the end.
And we saw the scene when the Cavs won.
Championship. The land. Baltimore, what are we doing? So I guess Kansas City's the best team. They're 7-0. And I can't do it again. I just can't do the same thing where I go, I watch them like they're trailing the Raiders. I don't know.
I had the under in their game. And,
that was disgusting.
And I've said every week here how much I love their defense. Forgot who I was talking to, asking who their favorite player was on their defense. And I said, I think it might be Leo Chanel. And somebody agreed. I forgot. Darn it. Anyway. But I'm sitting there watching the end of the game, and I'm like, I've talked ad nauseum about how much I love this defense, and they're going to give up a touchdown, meaningless touchdown at the end.
Oh, it wasn't meaningless.
And it's always that Sunday 4:05, 4:25 that you're just sitting there like, yeah, this is bad. This isn't going to work out.
Well, that's after
in your face.
That's after they ran a pick play to Worthy for a touchdown, and then that made it a 14-point lead. Look, they're 7-0.
We'll be there Monday night.
We will. Tampa Bay coming in. Tampa's, all the receivers are hurt.
I need that hat that Todd Bowles wore. That hat is mint.
All right, someone in the Buccaneers equipment room, get Steve the hat.
Come on. How good are the creamsicles?
We all love them. I mean, we love every throwback. Every throwback's better than the original jersey. Broncos wore that uniform, you go, that'd be good to wear every week. Patriots wear Pat the Patriot. That looks great.
What else?
No, wait. What I want to say about Kansas City, look at their schedule. There's no one on there that's beating them for quite a while.
Really?
Nope. So we're going to keep coming in on Mondays and going, well, I mean, they won again. Yeah, they're the reigning 2-time champions, and they haven't lost a game. That's where we are with them.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills, I think, when I think Chiefs, I think Bills, those two teams are kind of, their paths have crossed quite a bit. We talked the Seattle side of it. That Bills win was really impressive. Opening drive to score, and they've got a monster lead in the AFC East.
It's over.
That went from, we thought it was over early, then they lost a couple in a row.
Lost
like,
Houston.
ooh, I don't know. Maybe the Jets. I got news for you. A team who ain't winning the East is the Jets. Let's discuss that scene. I know you don't want to. I know you've got Jet fatigue.
Who doesn't?
The other day it was suggested on our show, we're going to do the Jets. It's like, why? Are we going to do an extended breakdown on the 2-6 Jaguars? Are we going to do an extended breakdown on the 2-6 Titans? No, they have one win.
Or Titans.
The 2-6 Raiders? We're not. So why are we? I get it. Rodgers and Devontae, and they're not good. Good teams win that game. They didn't win that game. There was a stat, and I hate when people do this, and I'm getting ready to do it. Score more than 20, gain more than 250 yards on offense, don't turn the ball over. That's a recipe. You don't lose games. Going back to, I'll just make something up. Since 1943, total bullshit. I don't know what it is, but it's basically if you do that, you win games. They didn't. And shout to Jacoby Brissett. Be a pro. Show up, do your job. Step up when Guy May gets hurt who replaced you and win and lead the team to a win. They did. And now Rodgers has got to make friends with the darkness. All right, cool. They're not good.
No.
That's a wrap.
Thank you.
All right. Wrapping the Jets.
To go along with that,
Yep.
Texans are the 2 seed right now in the AFC.
Yep.
They're going to MetLife Thursday night, and we have to watch the Jets.
Who are favored?
They're going to win.
The Jets are.
Yep.
Of course they are. Well, I mean, that could be a UCF BYU scenario with the line.
That didn't work out.
No, it did not. Vegas is having a hard time quitting the Jets, but I don't know.
And BYU.
True. Figure it out. Putting the fellas here in a tough spot when we're kind of the math is telling us one thing.
Trying to help you.
Yeah, right. Houston's concern is no Nico with the hamstring, and now the Stephon Diggs no contact knee injuries is very troubling because in the same way that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith make Philadelphia different, and the same way that Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp make the Rams different, Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs make Houston different. And that's gigantic concern as it relates to them moving forward because Houston's got a bunch of out of conference games that are challenging. But what seed are they?
2.
That ain't gonna hold up.
Really?
Nope.
Okay.
Not if they don't have their receivers.
I'll tell you what, Joe Mixon's been unbelievable for them. That touchdown run he had, like not many guys in the league could do that.
Got basically hit at the 5 and carried another human into the end zone.
His balance and stop and go along with power is really, really good. And, sometimes you didn't showcase that in Cincinnati. Obviously, he might want a little more shine because it was Chase and T and Burrow. But, man, he has been phenomenal for Houston. But, yeah, also – that offensive line going on the road against a Jets defense that's supposed to be good. But, yeah, it's going to be like 9-6 in the third.
Probably.
Means the Jets fans won't have seen a touchdown yet again.
They don't score a lot at home.
What else we got?
I got Bo Nix written down because early this year I thought, boy, he can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand they're playing Carolina. Context is important in life. I'll say it forever because it is. He just looks different. I love what Peyton and those guys are running. They do play action. They roll pockets. They get him out moving. He's way more comfortable. There's certain shooters that have got to be standstill shooters, and then there's other shooters that are just better off the dribble and the bounce.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he looks like a way more comfortable thrower when you move him around. And they don't have Cortland Sutton, okay, he's their best receiver, but it's kind of by committee out there. He threw for his highest yardage, completion percentage, yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, the whole bit. And I got to eat that too because I early on thought well, this is a joke. This guy can't play at all. Well, give him a little grace, give him a little time, and very quickly, I think he's shown that he can. Now, these next 2 games for Denver, at Baltimore and at Kansas City, deep end of the pool. We'll see. Well, I think we'll learn more about him. But but that Denver defense is good. They're 5-3, and that's way better than I thought they'd be, based on what I saw early this year with Nix at quarterback.
Yep, better than the Raiders. I'd still take the Chargers over them. Asked Ryan last night who he thought had the best secondary in the league. He said Denver.
Yep.
So that's something you need to withstand the next 2 weeks in those 2 games that you talked about.
Now, they played the Panthers. Feels like that maybe opens the door to the residents of Pooptown.
Smell it.
It's crowded. Current residents in Pooptown. The New York Jets.
Pooptown!
I know they just got a win, but let's be honest. New England Patriots.
Play it.
Pooptown!
But credit after your coach talked about you being soft against a division rival who beat you by 21 with your backup, you won. That means maybe you could exit. If nothing else, you showed for one Sunday you guys could battle for 60. That was impressive. Same could be said for this team. They have to stay there, but maybe they're looking to break their lease. Cleveland Browns.
Pooptown!
Oof.
Be serious. Is Jameis enough to get that? Wait, I'll consider it. Is just Jameis enough to say, you know what? The Browns leave Pooptown.
Win 2 in a row.
That's there, Cleveland. There you go. On this made up thing on a podcast, if you want to get off that list, win 2 in a row. Who's Cleveland got this week?
No idea.
Somebody tell me. My phone's on a charger. While Steve looks for that, I'll tell you, Jacksonville.
Ooh, Chargers at Browns.
That's a big one. Steve believes more in the Chargers. Beat the Chargers, you're out of Pooptown.
I agree.
Jacksonville.
Pooptown!
Pooptown.
They lost that game.
They did.
They fought all the way back.
Packers 6-2. Malik Willis has come in several times this year and he adjusted to some made-up wheel route that got them the field goal.
Yeah, but they got Salah working on the offense. Maybe it was him.
There you go. 6-2 Packers. Love hurt, but Willis has shown.
Packers Lions this week.
Where's that game?
Lambeau.
I'm gonna get the back. I'm saving the Lions for the back end. Vegas.
Pooptown!
Pooptown. New York Giants. They
At home.
At home.
Pooptown!
On the road. New Orleans Saints.
Pooptown!
They might be the worst now. It's bad.
They're just devastated by injury. The 2 games they played to start this season, we were all like, whoa. And that is so far gone, it's amazing. Like the leaves on the trees, buddy. They're
What was Carr's injury?
oblique. He
must have ripped it because we were there that night. He said he felt it before it hit the ground. We thought it was the hit.
It was a 4th down blitz. No, he said he knew it wasn't the hit because he had to load up.
I'm saying we thought it was
right,
the hit.
And
he said
told
he
us,
felt it before he hit the ground.
There you go. Well, that was a disaster. So we got the Jets, New England, Cleveland packing up to leave if they can beat the Chargers, Jacksonville, Vegas, New York at home, Dallas at home, I think, New Orleans for sure, Carolina.
Getting real crowded.
However, for Carolina, I do want to say this, and I mean this sincerely. This is all just a made-up thing about teams that aren't good. I salute David Tepper. I salute
the stadium. Yeah.
I salute Luke Combs and that whole crew.
Church.
And that an all-star cast. I salute our colleague Marty Smith down there. I know he was involved in doing a lot of different things. I think Marty and McGee were doing a lot of different things. Just, you guys raised $25 million in a night by donating your stadium for relief following Helene that came through. And so, in all sincerity, to the people that donated their time, the artists, to the people that donated the stadium, the Tepper family, to all the people in Carolina and around the country that came out and supported that, that's the stuff that matters, and that's what community is, and that's a beautiful thing. The football team's not very good.
Nope.
So two things can be true at once. Also in Pooptown is the Tennessee Titans.
Pooptown!
In the last 2 weeks, Steve, on the road at Buffalo, they led 10-0.
They did.
They lost 34-10. At Detroit, they were tied at 14 in the late first, early second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
It was an mayhem in Detroit. They lost 52-14. Pooptown. The other side of the coin is that the Lions won a game where they had 225 yards of offense.
Yeah, what did Goff end up with? 80?
86 yards.
And 3 touchdowns?
3 tutters. They scored 50-plus and won by 38 in a game that they had 225 yards. It was the dumbest game you've ever seen in terms of trying to make it make sense. There were just big defensive turnovers and returns. Khalif Raymond, I believe it was, had like 165 yards or something like that in returns. One was a touchdown. They had short fields forever. They're running trick plays because of course they do. David Montgomery threw a touchdown pass. You call them the best watch every week.
Yep.
And it's hard to argue. In games where you get bad matchups stylistically, and it's just this, Detroit comes on your screen and it's like a ray of sunshine.
It's so good. You know, we were driving home last night, and I said, imagine the real estate we would have to provide if we didn't have the Commanders, you know, and their great story.
Uh-huh. And
the Lions are just as consistent as for, you know, since week 1, best watch in the NFL, everything you bring to the table. You brought up the dynamic. We're sitting in the room with the Monday night guys watching the 1 o'clock. I'm like, is Tennessee going to hang around here? Like, they were getting a ton of points.
Yeah, they sure were. Not enough, though.
Ridley looks like he's the benefit of the Hopkins move. Like, he's involved. You forgot what he could do.
Feed him.
Yeah. And then it was over.
Yeah, fast, quick, and in a hurry. 14-14, and then it's like, oh, this is sort of like last week's game where you led 10-0, then gave up 34 straight. It was 38 straight to end that one. The Lions are... I sent a note to Goff. I said, I thought you were the white boy in Detroit. No, that's Eminem. Out to Jameis. And Jameis is what an amazing perfume Jameis Winston is. That whole situation was as bad as it could possibly be. And here comes Jameis, zipping it all over. Hey, maybe I throw it to the Ravens. You dropped it. Cool, I'll throw it to my guy. Whee! Now you might leave Pooptown. I don't know. Did I miss anybody? I don't feel like I really dove in on the Packers, but you know they're 6-2. The love situation's tenuous.
See what you got this week.
Yeah, but Malik's been excellent in holding the rope.
Great coaching job.
Agree with that. Also, when he came in, the win was on the road was against Tennessee, who, as we've said, boy, they're on the struggle bus. I have some non-NFL topics to get to. Happy Valley this week?
Yeah. Fired up. Haven't been there. I think I was 15 for football camp and didn't like it. And it's been, 32 years. Completely going to be a different place. Like, I'm really fired up to see how different it is. We both know plenty of people that have gone there, have had kids go there. They're all bought in.
I like all the Penn State people I've ever met in real life. I'm like, oh, we're like the same person. I like you. The people online are the people that I don't like. The people from there, and that's Ohio State. I mean, every fan base has that, just hostility online, and it's fine. But I think all the people I've ever encountered from Penn State I like them all.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
I think it's a great. You talked about B-Town last week. Happy Valley it's a scene, man.
Yeah, it's Halloween night, Thursday night. Watch out.
buckle the fuck up. BTFU. When did Halloween become just this thing where it's like we talked about this on radio years ago with Russillo. When we were little, kids say trick or treat. Knock, knock, knock. Here's the exchange. Ding dong, open the door. Trick or treat. That's the thing you say to get the candy. Kids now, you open the door, they just look at you. They're like, what are we doing here? There are rules. We live in a society. You knocked on my door. What do you want? Trick or treat? Oh, of course, here's some candy. Just say trick or treat. Parents, teach your children. Say trick or treat.
Be close enough to the door where you can hear them ask.
Say it. And please and thank you. These are important things. Just as important as the trick. Actually, trick or treat's more important.
Yeah, you could leave out the please on Halloween.
Right.
Just don't forget to thank you.
Trick or treat is the equivalent
Correct.
of please.
There you go.
Trick or treat is the equivalent of please. That begins the transaction. Have a Kit Kat, have a Reese's, have a Snickers, have a whatever. Thank you. On to the next. Somewhere along the way, we lost the recipe on Halloween and people stopped saying trick or treat. But the upside for Halloween is somewhere along the line, Halloween parties, it just became an invitation for every woman to be a slutty blank.
When did it change where I'm going to wear as least amount of clothing as possible?
I don't know when that happened. But it was after I was in the sweet spot of Halloween. Everybody did fun and costumes, and it was a thing. And then it was like, no. Hey, you got that whore nurse outfit? Give me that. A slutty anything. All right. Have fun. Ladies, do whatever you like. It's just a wild thing, though.
Yes. One other thing.
Slutty anything.
That's it. Teenagers.
Go get them.
That go around to the houses that people are out or without or are out trick-or-treating with their kids and they leave the basket out there and you just come around maybe in a hood with no mask. Ring cameras. We got you on camera, okay? And you know what? You might not get it that night, but I know your face. And when I see you, be ready. You know what I'm talking about.
Steve's threatening assault of teenagers. But by the way,
not assault. You will get what you asked for.
Don't start none, won't be none. It's just bullshit. Take one, leave one. You're the guy, and you're right. We've all got cameras. So when you take the bowl and you dump it, he's going to find you. Please and thank you. Actually,
I could only imagine how fast your wife gets home. It's like, I'm going on the camera. I'm going to see this. Who was here?
Yeah, you know what? I was a teenage boy once. They suck. They're the worst.
I don't think I did that, though.
I didn't steal candy, but I did. I kicked in pumpkins, man. I smashed them.
We had cars. Bad.
Yeah,
really bad.
So we egged cars, we smashed pumpkins. Like let's not act like we're angels over here.
You had to be Sonia back in when I was. You had to show because Mischief Night is the night before Halloween, and that's when it gets loose. Like, don't be out on Mischief Night because you're gonna get whether you're walking your car. You just don't be out. And you would have to be 21. You have to show ID at the grocery store to buy eggs, like the 2 weeks prior to Halloween. I swear.
Mischief Night in the Valley
man.
It got real. So the kids are stealing candy now. That's not great. Steve and Sonia.
Bad. With Derby, Seymour, the whole thing.
Wolcott.
No, not
out
Wolcott.
by Groton.
They're not in the Valley.
It's fine. This guy's got a bootleg fake ID to buy eggs to pepper houses.
Didn't have that. But, man, you had to go hunting to buy eggs 2 weeks before. It was, man.
All right, I didn't egg people, but I definitely smashed pumpkins. There's something that really is a very pleasing thing, too, if you chuck a pumpkin in it, like when it explodes on the ground. Really, there'd be pumpkins everywhere. So maybe this is just karma. Maybe this is just the Halloween gods even in the score. Like, hey, Van Pelt, remember all those pumpkins you smashed? Well, now kids are going to steal your candy.
Yeah, so Happy Valley, Halloween night.
Mischief night. Keep your poise.
Our girl Maddie gave me a bunch of recommendations for restaurants.
In Happy Valley?
Do you think she gave me bad places?
Why would she?
Like she could
on
trick
purpose?
me? Yeah.
No.
No?
No, she's the nicest. She's the best we have.
Okay.
She's
she could be.
She's got her little Penn State stuff.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
knows,
That's what I'm saying.
But it's not
Outsider coming in, hasn't been there in 32 years.
Yeah, but you're not me. Like you're not the bozo from Maryland. She would send me probably to some.
I think she would like to get me a couple times.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, she puts up with a lot. She puts up with us.
Yeah.
I just think the narratives, I hate that word. I think the storylines that are in play here, James in big games versus Ohio State, Ryan Day in big games.
Yeah. 0-5.
They're both
7-0 teams.
Both their fan bases spent last week watching them win games going, man, we better be better on Saturday.
Yeah.
And both fan bases, you don't want to admit it, but you know it, are right next to that hope and optimism that maybe you'll be good is the dread of if we lose, I'm going to say I hate my coach and I want him fired. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I'd like to think James has gotten past that, but the record in big games is the record in big games. They've been, and the beauty for them is that the playoff now, there's more room, and so they who have been really, really good, better than everyone else, but not as good as Ohio State or Michigan, and that's been their issue.
Yeah.
That's it. And so Aller's hurt, but we think he's playing, right?
I believe he's going to start.
So,
Yes.
but Prabula was
Not 100.
But Prabula was excellent in that game against Wisconsin, and we talked about this the other night. Ohio State was not good against Nebraska.
Offensive line going back and watch is bad.
11 first downs. 11. 1 of 10 on third down. That ain't how you get Capone, man. You got to do better than that. But
the under game.
No, it'll go over just because it'll sail over. Watch and see.
Okay.
It's good. Big plays. Big play game. What are you doing? Just dogs eating tables.
All right. What else?
I know you're done with me.
No.
Should be a great scene though. Look forward to that. That'll be a
There's
great.
something we have to talk about.
Fat Joe.
Yes.
The front of the card is all NFL. All of the storylines. I got arrows. I got stats. The back of the card. Fat Joe. I can't get over it. And we had this conversation with our guy Anthony from Omaha before the show starts. He's a New York City guy.
Yep.
And he's like, look, who's it going to be from the Bronx? Like, Fat Joe.
R.I.P. Big Pun.
Big Pun had some denim outfits that you can Google.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of denim. He crushed a lot. I just don't understand how anyone felt it was necessary. Is it a direct response to Cube Game 2 in L.A.?
That was my point. When did that start? Was it just are we trying to get Tupac and Biggie back? Like, Cube comes out, and I'm like, we have a concert before the game? I'm like, this isn't the national anthem here.
No, this is...
And Cube did a great job of substituting cuss words, implementing some baseball.
And the whole performance was just tremendous.
But then Fat Joe comes out, and I don't know if he got mixed up in the lyrics. They were playing the lyrics. He was on his own one. Then he was singing somebody else's verse on one of his songs. Then he's on the mound in some Timbos. Like, I didn't know where it was supposed to go. And I love Fat Joe.
Yes.
He's awesome. What's his favorite saying?
Today's price?
Today's price is not the same as yesterday's price. Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Think about it. It's genius.
Of course it is.
So,
but I think today's price might be lower than yesterday's.
Who
price.
are we getting tonight?
You're down 2-0. And Fat Joe and the Timbos on the mound, and it's just they cut away. There's just some lady in the crowd. And New York, man, New York's New York City, man. There's a well-earned ego about the city, but for you guys,
but even more so at Yankee Stadium,
for
sure.
Yankee
Stadium is, and I talked about it. Like it's like the worst place in the world if you don't like the Yankees, but like you gave us a little alleyway to kind of throw some jabs, which you never did.
Never.
Ever in the old Yankee Stadium. But it's been 15 years, and just to see that, I was like, we got a game to play here. And but who are we getting tonight?
I don't know. I just say the hell with it and go. Just do we have to be? Does it have to be borough specific? I mean, it was brought up to me. Jay-Z did that in like 2009 or something. Did Jay-Z did a performance before a game? That's what Anthony said. I don't remember.
Oh, the Phillies. That's when I turned it off.
I don't remember it. Hold on. Could you stop chewing my arm?
Brett,
please stop chewing my arm.
He needs a burger.
He just needs to not treat my arm like a chew toy. I don't know. I just go full New York City and just go MOP and just ante up. Just take chains off, take rings off. Just LILFLAME. What? Just to hell with it. I mean, that's an old reference. Maybe that's no good. Maybe there's young somebody. I don't know. I'm old and I'm the old guy that can't figure out when Halloween got co-opted by all sorts of stuff. I'm not the guy to pick tonight's musical act. I have rarely been as baffled by anything as I was by Fat Joe. And if you're going to do it, do it. You can't rap over your tracks.
I'm saying it was just a bad look. He's got some bangers.
Bangers!
Man.
A catalog.
One thing about the series, though.
It's not breaking your heart that the Yankees are down 3-9.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
But were you able to listen? I know we went to it live, and I know our comms were a little messed up. Were you able to listen to any of Ohtani's answers last night?
Sort of, but Mookie Betts was getting ready to join us, and so our producer was talking to me while he was explaining that he just had to figure out sort of
because everything was jumbled, and I couldn't really make it out. I know he has the interpreter there. I'm not trying to make fun of him. I honestly couldn't hear what he was saying, but to hear Mookie talk about seeing what Ohtani went through, I guess Ohtani texted everybody after game 2 and said, "I'm going to battle through this." Blah blah blah. But then Mookie to bring up. I thought it was just great, and that's like in those moments, like you're going on the road for Ohtani, and you go back to all the way back to '88, and you hear the Dodgers talk about what Gibby was able to do coming out for that bat, what Freddie was able to do this playoffs, and battle through that ankle. I really thought showed, and I think Ohtani referenced that. Like I saw what Freddie laid on the line to play for us. I'm doing the same thing, and it was just a really cool buy-in thing, and him being like just giving that lift, and then Freddie goes out and does his thing.
3 home runs,
5 straight World Series, going back to the COVID World Series.
And I think that I asked Mookie about it last night. It's the timing. I mean,
yeah,
the walk-off game 1 is an all-timer. They'll show that for 100 years. But the first inning homers feel, especially the one in game 3, especially last night. Because it's we say it, and I mean it. The Yankee Stadium vibe for a World Series game is just.
Didn't even give it a chance. I don't even think they were done through roll call.
And you're like, oh, you're gonna do that thing where you yell all. Hey, how about a 2-run homer in your eye hole? You guys having fun? Let me know when you're having fun. Fat Joe done?
Yeah, right.
Because a Fat Freddy bat is right here. That's such a demoralizing thing to have happen, because playoffs when you're down 1, it feels like 100, and another 2-run homer from that guy in the first inning, that was
made me have nightmares because Jeter threw out the first pitch, and all I think of every time I see him, probably my most respected athlete of all time, but going to Subway Series and he leads off the first game at Shea Stadium with a home run. It's like. These fucking guys.
This is your captain speaking.
Yeah. Like, here, have that, Shea Stadium.
Kind of a dump. I was kind of a dump.
But it was our dump. The Jets played NFL games there.
Yeah. It wasn't great.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding?
Wasn't great.
Little Steve Levy running around.
Yeah. Love it. In his Klecko jersey. The back of the car just says Fat Joe. Oh, man. I got nothing else.
I'm starving.
All right. When Steve's to hit you with the what else, basically he's just telling you rap. He's giving you a rap.
No, I want to make sure we get everything out because we're in a tricky spot. We try and get everything on Saturdays, college football, get all that. But like this is our last chance to lay it out before the weekend. We got Halloween.
Yep.
Mischief night.
And Sonia, if you'd like to have an omelet, I suggest you head somewhere else. Apparently, you need an ID to buy eggs for mischief night. Yeah, no, I mean it's a fun week.
Yeah.
Remember, trick or treat.
What do we got? What do we got? Costumes.
I think we have a Taylor Swift.
Which era?
Pardon?
Which era?
I don't know.
We got one red era.
I don't know. She has a gold sort of a dress. I don't know. Is that an era? Forgive me. I don't. And then we have a ninja.
Does she wear makeup?
Yeah, that's not my favorite thing. I think we have
ninja.
We have a ninja.
All right,
but that involves a mask. It's gonna be like 80 degrees here on Halloween, which means the mask you're gonna wear it. And then remember how hot it is under a mask? You're just breathing in that plastic.
Yeah,
and then you're like, you know what? This sucks. Boom, mask off.
And it's the best.
Feels so good when that.
But then every adult's like,
"What are you?
What are you? I'm a ninja."
Yeah. I'm the kid from down the street. Oh, right. Trick or treat. My dad told me, yeah.
I do find you definitely have the same problem. But it's amazing how you get back to the house and each one of them wants to know what the other one got so they could steal it. Like you all went to the same houses. Figure it out.
It's very true. There's the thing about parenting that is the most difficult, particularly for three. You have all the same sex, so I can't even imagine that. But the scoreboard watching is very difficult because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're winning in a blowout on your scoreboard. All you care about is their scoreboard, and their scoreboard is always going to seem better. Well, they got this. Why did he get that?
How about some of these buckets they use now? It's like high level bucket. Like, what did you use back in the day? I know what we used.
Pillowcase.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on. Old school.
Back to pillowcases.
Yeah.
Like not with the soap bars at the end.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
And we lived in an area. We lived in this place that was just row after row of townhouses.
Those are the best,
buddy. Let me tell you, it would get to the point where the pillowcase was so heavy.
Yeah.
And you'd come home and dump it.
It had, like, where you would try and put your hand, you had more candy than the top. So it was like, man.
Like a garbage bag that you couldn't do the twist. Couldn't do the twist at the top. This is nostalgia, y'all. All the old heads are out there going, hell yeah.
Yeah.
All the youngsters are like, what are you? Who are you? What's Peepaw? They're fun, though.
Oh, God, yes.
I did it as long as I could.
I haven't seen you eat. You used to eat 100 grands like there was no tomorrow.
Well,
you stealing those? Is that your first steal? What's your first steal from the kids?
100. Well, our street, the people all kind of top each other. Like they're giving out the full movie like theater candy bars, like the giant ones.
We might be taking a drive down here.
You're more than welcome. Please do. You know what? I have something I'd like to say to the candy makers.
Oh, I know where this is going.
By the way, the 100 grands that stopped when the guy that used to be our treat stalker is now the president of the company. Basically, this guy would stuff our candy like jar, and he's moved on to running the company. So that's kind of a bummer. Hey, Scott, you can't go to buy
Costco?
Bulk? Yeah, I could. I just don't think of it. I have a message to the candy makers. Fun size means fun size. It means, hey, this size is fun. It doesn't mean that this is the size of the end of your pinky. What happened to fun size? Last night, there were the treats with this little chocolate bar, and I'm telling you, it's half the size of what a fun size used to be. I looked at a Snickers recently, a Snickers fun size. That used to be a decent sized hunk of Snickers. No more.
Nub.
That's what you guys, you know what y'all do? Nubs. Nubs aren't fun.
No.
Fun size is fun. Why? What?
It shouldn't be able to be one bite, right?
I mean, I would make it one bite, but I'm an animal, and I would have to boom, boom, boom when I ate it. Now it's literally like it's like small plates. Would you like a small plate?
Tapas.
No tapas. No.
Oh, I need 10 of them.
Right. When did this happen? Even Reese's, the small Reese's used to be a full. It was a Reese's is 2 of the Reese cups, and it used to be one of them. No, now it's this tiny thing, and I don't mean the tiny thing in the brown wrapper. I'm pro that, by the way. It's some miniature version of what you used to do.
Should be tiny size.
When did this happen?
Same thing with fast food chains also too. Like a Big Mac, it's not even close to what it used to be. They used to like both hands, like that was an effort. Thousand Island all over your face.
You know what? That's bullshit. We're all asleep at the wheel, and we all needed to just together say this will not stand.
It goes back to my bars of soap theory that they don't last as long as they used to, and they're not as big.
That doesn't bother me as much as fun size.
Cheating.
That's what it is. It's not fun size. Make fun size fun again. That's
your hat.
That's my hat. When it comes to politics, what I want is I want fun size candy to be the proper size, because somewhere along the way we allowed it to be shrunk to the point where it is now.
Yeah. And
you think someone's not paying attention? I am. This guy.
Yep.
100 grand is still the same size 100 grand ever was. 100 grand is criminally underrated candy.
Totally agree.
It's a spectacular candy. The crunchy, the chocolate, the caramel.
I would love if they had made, like, I know you get the 2 in the 100 grand, but if they ever made them like the size of a Charleston chew, see you gnawing on that thing. You would pound those.
You're
things.
probably too young to remember this. You remember marathon bars?
No.
Don't say no so judgmental. It was a candy bar in like probably the 70s. And it was
born
like
in 77.
Well, then,
figure it out.
Fair. Marathon was like this big, long, it was like a big, long, like almost like a pretzel. But what it was it wasn't a pretzel. It was shaped like one, and it was just chocolate and caramel. So it was like 100 grand, but without the crispy things. And so you'd take a bite, and here's the problem. You'd pull it, and then the caramel would get all stringy, and then it would get on you and get all over. And there's chocolate everywhere. It was probably, I'm sure, oh, God.
You got a hat.
Is that your hat? Well,
Red's eating that.
Red just destroyed a hat. I have to buy a hat because Red just ate it.
One other thing.
Son of a gun.
I went to Permane Brothers.
Okay.
2 words.
No grass?
No grass.
That means no coleslaw.
Correct. It's doable.
Nobody told me the code words when I went last time. And that's how we ended up in that very tense exchange with the Permane Brothers person who was not going to yield. No one told me no grass. I would have said no grass, then I would have known. We had some great shots from Permane Brothers, and you had one?
Yep.
All right, love it. Good sandwich.
It was good.
Good. All right, there we go.
Not worth the wait.
Okay, so in review, trick or treat. Thank you. Bring back fun size, and
put some clothes on.
Nah, you know what, ladies? I think it's great. You do whatever you think. Do whatever you feel is good. Happy Halloween. That's all. That's it.
Enjoy.
And worst end of podcasts. No one's worse. This guy right here. Red's destroying shit. We gotta go.